Hello, once again, welcome back. I'm putting on an MTN t-shirt and I want to say a disclaimer. This is not an MTN promoted video. In fact, it's a free video. And I want to share some tips with you. So today we're going to be talking about knowing your customer. All right, so one time, I went to one of the POSs we have here in my country, Uganda. And then we discussed a certain challenge that the marketing board missed. Here in Uganda, we do have people who still share, who still rent rooms that are on the same block, but they share one electricity supplying module that is digitally paid for. So they have to do one thing. They need to go to a POS because they need evidence. And the same thing is with paying water bills. We need evidence. Otherwise, if it is digital, literally, people will be having a certain amount, not the right amount. Someone will claim the message disappeared. Now, the challenge is some people who are doing marketing, they don't know their customers. For example, with that, the marketing team decided to leave the green and black placards or adverts of their own brand, and they changed into yellow and white. Can you imagine? Two colors, yellow and white. And then for them, they had the board before, even on their POS menu, that was showing what services they provide. And they were like, now everyone knows us. They didn't know that these clients would always come, even if they see anything, but they would ask for the brand. That, hey, do you have this POS? You say yes. Then they ask, does it sell electricity? Does it pay insurance? Does it pay this and this and this? And then you'd have to respond yes. But now that they wanted the placards of that nature out of the way, which means the users of the POS receive less customers and they would receive nothing. One time again, I had a chat with a team of people who are going to enroll out a certain software. Now, the software was being dedicated. Okay, the software was actually a web-based software system that was being dedicated now to us, the population. The software system was of selling spare parts of certain machines. Unfortunately, not realized in the market, we are the only literate people who can own a laptop or even be able to purchase to understand literally how to use a laptop. But the sellers they were supposed to target were supposed to be the mechanics and the sellers of spare parts. Because now, for example, if I ask myself, how many times do I go online to look for a module for a laptop? That is very impossible. But then if I have a mechanic and they have that, they need a spare part, then most of the mechanics and most of the people who live in the shops to sell the spare parts are actually onto mobile. Though they'll be promoting their content on Facebook, on TikTok, and spend their time on WhatsApp chats, exchanging information. Therefore, you creating a web-based system is not the best solution. You're supposed to be creating a mobile application because most of them are illiterate, but they know how to use a mobile application, especially engaging with WhatsApp conversations, rather than carrying a bulky laptop that they don't need just because they want to be looking for one item on your web-based system. Therefore, you're supposed to know your target market. The right target market was not we, the people, because, for example, if I ask you how many times have you ever asked for a spare part of a car? The moment you have an issue with the car, the right person you'll be calling will be the mechanic. Therefore, the application is based for mechanics, but the mechanics are not going to be moving with laptops everywhere to order these items, but they have the ability to own a smartphone. Therefore, this accounts for who do you design the application for. Okay, do you design it for me, who is buying one spare part in a year? Why would I have your web application on items that I don't know? Some of us just listen to the car and then you get to know it has a problem, but you don't know how to identify the problem better than the mechanic. So the app was supposed to be intended for people who are selling spare parts and people who are mechanics. Okay, so one way the mechanics are looking for spare parts, and then the sellers of the spare parts are there to respond in any case of an inquiry. In the previous video, I promised to talk about the bell girl, bells of clothes in the water. Now, if a person is selling bells of clothes, why really do they need a web application or even a mobile application? It will be redundant. Why? Bells of clothes don't have a good display. It's just a bell. No one knows even the clothes that are inside the bell. The only way of selling it is by weighing it and also knowing the classification. So that person who is in such a business will be wasting money designing an application or a web platform because they have no display. But a person who is selling individual clothes, a mobile application, even a web platform will be a good tool for them. So when you're designing, what business are you designing for? So a person who is having a bell of clothes would be a good person to go to Chiku online just to say, I'm selling this stock, okay, with other people who are selling wholesale. Okay. Now, lastly, also the land is another example. Why would I download an application to manage my land? Why? I would rather go to the web-based system and find out if actually anything is an issue with the land, because once you have the land and you have the physical documents, those are the evidence. Digital, no. The application will be redundant because you're not going to be checking on your land all the time. Okay? So these are some of the things you're supposed to consider while designing your applications and creating your ideas, understanding the market and the target people. If I'm to design something for, let's say, babies, and I know the mothers are the ones that are working on the babies, not the babies, how do I design something to fit those pregnant mothers, and what packages do I give? Okay? When I'm designing that, I don't intend for the fathers because they don't have much knowledge like the mothers do. So I should streamline my application, okay, to go with the mothers and many of the things that they need, even concerning colors. So while you're setting your idea, you're supposed to know your target market and get to know who am I designing for and how relevant is it to them. Okay? I cannot be designing an application for only one food item, fish. No. But I would rather design for the different items unless I have a merchandise, a franchise where people are going to be ordering fish of and different combinations. But if I have one type of item that I'm selling that is fish, why would someone download the application when they are accessing the fish only once? They are not ordering fish every day. So some of the things don't desire applications, but mobile application, but rather web applications. Alright, so that is it for today. Do not forget to subscribe, like, and share. And let's meet in another video. Hope I've enlightened you on a few things.